You've probably seen it all over your social media feeds, the dopamine detox. It's this viral wellness trend that promises to fix our totally fried attention spans. So today, we're going to figure out if it's the real deal. But what's the real story? Is this actually the key to unlocking focus in our crazy, overstimulated world? Or is it just another health fad built on some shaky science? Let's get into it. I mean, you've seen the videos, right? People are ditching their phones, they're sitting in silence, and they're claiming this detox has completely reset their minds. The promise is huge. Break free from that cycle of instant gratification and build some serious self-discipline. And let's be honest, that core promise is pretty tempting. The whole idea is that by just stepping away from all the constant noise, you can hit a reset button on your brain's reward system. Make simple things like reading a book feel as exciting as leveling up in a video game. Okay, but this is where we really have to separate the actual science from the social media hype. And the very first problem? Well, it's the name itself. What's so interesting here is that this really gets to the heart of the misunderstanding. The trend's name makes it sound like you're literally flushing a chemical out of your brain. But the reality is, you're just taking a break from compulsive behaviors. Think of it like a fast for your habits, not your brain chemistry. The term dopamine detox actually came from a psychologist, Dr. Cameron Sepah, and his original idea was much simpler. It was just about taking a break from those impulsive, high-reward behaviors. We're talking about hitting pause on the endless scroll, the next video game level, or that late-night junk food run.
And this is exactly why that term is so misleading. As live science points out here, you can't just fast from dopamine. It's a vital neurotransmitter that your body needs for everything from motivation to just moving around. Trying to get rid of it would be like trying to detox from oxygen. It just doesn't make sense.
So if we're not actually reducing the chemical, then what is the point? Well, the real goal is to give your brain a break from the constant, high-level stimulation of our modern world. It's about lowering the noise, not the neurotransmitter. So if the name is all wrong, why do so many people swear by it? Well, because despite the really bad branding, the practice itself can actually lead to some very real benefits.
People who do this report a powerful boost in their focus. They say the mental clutter starts to clear up, that impulse to just grab their phone gets weaker, and suddenly, simpler things start to feel genuinely enjoyable again. This isn't magic, it's just practicing a bit of mindfulness and self-control.
The psychology behind this is actually surprisingly simple. It's not a chemical reset, it's a cognitive one. You're just giving your overwhelmed brain a much-needed vacation. By turning off that fire hose of digital stimulation, you give your mind a chance to recalibrate and find joy in things that don't come with a push notification. So if you're curious about this, how can you try it in a way that's safe and practical? Because it's definitely not about locking yourself in a dark room for a week. The process is pretty straightforward. First, you gotta know your triggers. Is it Instagram, YouTube, gaming? Next, pick a time frame that actually feels manageable. Maybe just a single afternoon to start. Then, and this part is crucial, you have to replace that habit with something low-key, like going for a walk or reading a book. Finally, just check in with yourself. How did it feel? That awareness is the real prize here. A quick word of caution, though. This is not about extremes. Total isolation can be really harmful, and this is absolutely not a substitute for professional help if you're dealing with a real addiction. For some people, being too restrictive can even trigger a binge afterward, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. Ultimately, you have to remember that this is a personal tool. It's for building self-awareness and self-regulation. It is not some magic cure for burnout or distraction. So, after sifting through all the science and the hype, what's our final verdict on this whole trend? Okay, takeaway number one. Let's all just agree the name is terrible. Dopamine detox is super catchy, but it's scientifically totally wrong. But, and this is a big but, it's a misleading name for an incredibly valuable idea. The idea that we can all benefit from intentionally unplugging from all that overstimulation to get our focus and our peace of mind back. A much better name is probably a behavioral reset, because that's what this is really about. It's not about fighting your brain chemistry. It's about reclaiming your choices. It's about consciously choosing habits that serve you, instead of letting an algorithm choose them for you. So that leaves us with one final question for you. If you were to try a little behavioral reset, just for a few hours, what's the one habit you would unplug from first?